Mark Okerstrom and the CFO are both out. This is somewhat extraordinary in that it is immediate, and it clearly is Barry Diller saying, in fact, quoted as saying, ultimately, senior management and the board disagreed on strategy. Earlier this year, Expedia embarked on an ambitious reorganization plan with the goal of bringing our brands and technology together in a more efficient way. This reorganization, while sound in concept, resulted in a material loss of focus on our current operations, leading to disappointing third-quarter results and a lackluster near-term outlook. The board disagreed with that outlook, as well as the departing leadership's vision for growth, strongly believing the company can accelerate growth in 2020. And so that divergence necessitated a change in management. I mean, very straightforward talk here. The board has said, we disagree with you. You are fired.
How many quarters can you miss? The answer is not many when Barry Diller runs it. How about the fact he's a 20 million share repurchase? Stock was down 3 initially. I think that the people who were selling it then didn't seem to understand that the guys who were running Expedia couldn't shoot straight. They had a tremendous lead on everybody. They're doing terrible.
Yeah, well, we know the change in the algorithm at Google in terms of
Google
search,
did that, like what they did to Zillow, what they did to
what it meant to them, and the changes there, and it also affected the likes of TripAdvisor, which should talk a bit about. I talked to John Malone about actually a couple of weeks ago because they're a significant holder there, and in Expedia, where Diller has all their votes. Actually, Malone sold his Expedia, but in part for tax reasons.
Well, I find this incredible because we have now seen a lot of CEOs fired. Typically, they've been fired for ethical reasons. Here's a guy who's being fired because he hasn't delivered the numbers. And I think that those who remember the predecessor was doing pretty damn good there.
Yeah, that was actually, I thought, really interesting.
Because
Malone, when he questioned why Dara ever would have left Expedia in the first place.
Isn't that something? Did you ever talk to Dara about Expedia? He had a game plan.
But if you wondered who was running things over there, it's Barry Diller, chairman of the board, and Peter Kern, the vice chairman, will oversee the company's executive leadership team. They will manage day-to-day operations while they determine the long-term leadership for the company. You can see the stock is picking up a bit of gains here. As you pointed out, Jim, they're going to buy back. I'll be purchasing additional shares in the company as a tangible sign of my faith in and commitment to Expedia's long-term future. Again, that's Barry Diller.
Right. It's interesting. Okerstrom and neither Okerstrom nor Pickerill are really being mentioned as people who are going to spend more time with their family.
No.
They're spending time on the unemployment line.
This is not
really serious.
Not a leaving family thing. This is, we disagree with your strategy, we're disappointed in your execution, and you are out.
Maybe they can use Expedia to go rent a property, and they've got that division that they bought.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, maybe I'd take my place in Mexico. I've listed it with them. I got a housekeeper.
Yeah, it does sound like, in addition to the stock repurchase, that Diller himself is buying some shares, right?
Yeah,
it's a little
vague, it's a better company.
Yes, so
as a tangible sign of my faith.
Authorize up to an additional 20 million shares, which is in addition to the 9 million that are already available. So now it's 29 million. And then, as to your point exactly, Carl, Diller says, I'll be buying more shares myself.
Well, it's interesting to see a company underperform and CEO get fired as opposed to blame World Trade.